Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Rochelle, the Real Life Carnivore. I wanted to hop on today and just share with you guys something that I found very interesting. This was an experiment that I thought I would never be able to do. And I did it for over a year, actually more like a year and 3 months, actually, if I'm being totally honest. So I'm gonna share with you what it was. And I think you'll be very surprised. When I first started carnivore, I suffered from a lot of things. I suffered from insomnia, anxiety, depression, infertility. I had a restrictive binge eating disorder and a volume eating disorder that I had had for over a decade. And these were not the reasons why I came to carnivore to begin with. I came to carnivore for one reason, and that was because I wanted to get pregnant. It was the only thing that I cared about with going carnivore, and it was my last attempt at doing things naturally. I'm sharing this with you guys because part of my eating disorder, my disordered eating background, was having a love affair, an obsession with sugar. I was a sugar addict through and through, also a carb addict, and just anything that tasted good, whether it's keto treats or, don't mind my little dude, he's playing on his mat in the background here. Whether it was keto treats, whether it was gluten-free cookies, you name it. If it was chips, I was into it and I was eating all of it. And it's really sad because I used to actually go into my cupboard thinking that I was being real sneaky, and I would eat until there was almost nothing left of whatever it was that I wanted to eat. So say it was like a package of Oreos or something like that, and I would eat them all until there was maybe like 1 or 2 left, and then I'd be like, I might as well finish the pack. And then I would finish the pack and then I would replace it so it looked like I hadn't eaten them. How did I feel after eating a pack of Oreos? Like I wanted to die. Like I would be like shaking. I would be having, serious blood sugar problems. It was just not a good idea to do that. And I just want to be real with you guys. If you have suffered from an eating disorder, whether it be binging and purging, whether it be anorexia, whether it be volume eating, whether it be restrictive eating, if you've ever experienced any of this, I'm sure you can relate. Part of the reason why I want to share about this is not just because I want to bring awareness to it, but because there's a lot of, how do I say this nicely? There's a lot of people pushing certain itineraries, if you will, or agendas, if you will. And I think that too much of our livelihood, too much of our well-being is based off of vanity and how we look, how we present, like having perfect hair, having perfect skin, making sure that there's no little spots on your face, making sure that not an eyebrow hair is out of place. Just kidding. And I just think that so many of us are chasing vanity that we actually miss the mark when it comes to our health. And this was something that I had to get really real with myself about, because when I used to compete, that's what it was all about. And you literally compete to have the best body, the best physique that the judging panel would find most attractive, most symmetrical, most beautiful. And it's really an interesting conundrum to just kind of think, I'm going to parade around in this bikini in front of this panel of judges and let them judge me. Now, we don't like being judged any other time, but in this case, we love to be judged because it may mean that we get to take a little trophy home or wear a little tiara or something like that. And this is where I want to get really real with you guys, because had I not compete, I may or may not have had the restrictive binge eating disorder, the volume eating disorder that I lived with for well over a decade. Probably, I guess it would be 2011 is when I started. So that would be 13 years of this disordered eating. Some of you have had disordered eating your whole lives. And I think it's really important to recognize we often base our inherent value on and our worth on the number on the scale. And it's bull crap. That's bull crap. The number on the scale is only a measure of your gravitational pull, if that's even a thing. And it doesn't mean that you're less of a person. It doesn't mean that you're less lovable. It doesn't mean that you're less beautiful. What it does mean is that you may have more muscle mass than someone else, or stronger bones than somebody else, or maybe you haven't pooped in a week. I'm not sure. But I just think we need to be really honest with ourselves about the fact that this is not the only measure of health. So why am I sharing all of this with you guys? To say that I quit sugar over a year and 3 months ago. And this is what happened. This is what happened when I quit sugar over 15 months ago, almost 16 months ago. My arthritis pain dissolved within a couple of days. I started carnivore, like I said, to get pregnant. I had no idea about the other benefits. And all of a sudden my arthritis pain was just gone. And I said to my husband, oh my gosh, my neck doesn't hurt. And he was like, yeah, I noticed you haven't complained about it in a few days. I'm like, I might not have to go to the chiropractor every day now. Like, this is so exciting. He was excited. I was excited. Here's something else that happened when I cut out sugar and sweeteners. My cravings went away. I always crave something sweet. I always craved it. After I would eat, I was like, I need something sweet, whether it be like a few chocolate chips or a cookie or a piece of fruit or something. I just always wanted something sweet after I ate. And I was like, oh, this is so interesting. I went about a week without having anything sweet at the end of my meal. And I was like, is there something wrong with me? Like, this is very unusual. What else did I experience? I experienced resolution in my digestive system. I didn't have bloating. I didn't have distension. I didn't have reflux. Like, I didn't have belching anymore. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting. My skin stopped being so itchy. I was like, my skin has been itchy for like ever. Like, I never even thought about it. A little note for you all. If you're consuming products that contain stevia and you have an allergy sensitivity to ragweed, stevia is from the ragweed family and has been a culprit for some people for inflammation and for allergies. So if you notice that you're having like little allergy outbreaks, like whether it be a runny, drippy nose or sneezing or itchy skin or congestion even, all of these allergy symptoms, itchy palate, itchy throat, this could be an indication that maybe this is not the right product for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. When you get to the point where I was, where your body is nourished enough to let it go, you're able to make that choice. And that's what I did. I was 6 weeks in on carnivore and I had been priming and just nourishing my body. And all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I don't feel good eating this. I was eating stuff with like allulose and stevia because they were still considered carnivore friendly. And I thought to myself, I feel like I'm strong enough to just try tomorrow without sweetener and just see how I feel. And I did it. I tried it for one day. One day turned into 2, turned into 3, turned into a week, turned into a month. And here we are 15, 16 months later, and I'm still sugar free, which is great. I do have a little bit of stevia in certain products. In my Equip products, they do contain stevia. It doesn't bother me. I've gotten to the point where I've resolved the issue with the binge eating, with the restrictive binge eating, and with the volume eating. So it doesn't bother me anymore. It doesn't trigger cravings for me. I have no interest in eating things that are sweet anymore. I actually did an experiment recently where I gave myself permission to try something sweet. Not anything with sugar, but things with stevia. And I tried it and I was like, I actually don't like this. I don't miss this at all, which is very new for me. In my whole life, I've always preferred sweet over savory. And this was like revelatory for me. The fact that I felt good enough to experiment with this. And if you know me, you know that I'm an extremely willful person and I can will myself through most things. This would be one of those things that I would want to experiment with. And of course I did. And I overcame. I thought to myself, I really didn't miss this. And when it happened, when I tried the sweet product, I was like, oh, I noticed my digestion isn't as good. Oh, I noticed I have a little bit of brain fog. Oh, I kind of noticed that I like maybe kind of want to eat something else. Like it kind of opened up a craving for me without craving more sweet. I just had a craving and I was like, this is weird. I haven't had cravings in a really long time. So it was just really an interesting observation for me. Now, to summarize this, if you want to know all of the things that I experienced when I went off of sugar, when I quit sugar, this is the list. When I quit sugar, I experienced an improvement in my sleep. I experienced an improvement in my skin, my hair. I experienced a significant decrease in my arthritic pain. Like it went from an 8 down. I experienced a significant decrease in my arthritic pain. Like it went from an 8 down to a 2, which is incredible. Like there were some mornings I couldn't get out of bed because I was just in such excruciating pain. So this has been a game changer for me. My digestion improved. No more reflux, no more belching, which is really nice. My mood improved. My cravings went away. And I actually think that there may be a direct link to depression and anxiety and sugar or sweeteners. I think it's also potentially related to coffee, and I will be doing a video on coffee as well because I did quit coffee for a year, and I will be sharing what I learned, what I experienced with quitting coffee for a year. I hope you found this video really helpful. I hope that it encourages you and inspires you and offers you a glimmer of hope. If you have been on the carnivore diet for a while and things have been slow going for you, or if you're just not feeling like you're understanding it, I would love to connect with you. I do offer one-on-one coaching, so you're more than welcome to reach out to me. If you would like to like and subscribe to my channel, I would love that. If you want to drop me a comment below, let me know where you're tuning in from. I would love to hear from you. And if you have a friend who maybe struggles with sugar addiction or an eating disorder, please share this video with them. Let them know that there is hope for them. I have seen so many people overcome their restrictive binge eating disorders, anorexia, bulimia, and some of them have had it for over 40 years. Volume eating disorder, any sort of disordered eating, like it's amazing. To me, disordered eating is a cry for nourishment. Our body is crying out for nourishment, whether that be physically with food or emotionally, mentally, spiritually. There's always an underlying cause. Getting to the root of that, of why you're experiencing this eating disorder or disordered eating, I think is really important. So if you want help with that too, I would love to be there to support you and encourage you on your walk. Thanks so much for tuning in, you guys, and I will see you again very soon. Bye for now.